Shalom and welcome. I'm happy you could join us for this small group discussion we're going to have today. And today we're going to focus on the mezuzah. And the mezuzah, it can seem like something which we don't pay a lot of attention to. It's something which sits on top of the door. And inside the mezuzah, in the opening paragraph, and this is from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 7 through 9. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Now, the reason we focus on this, and the reason we finally decided to put that mezuzah on the door, is because of that line right there, is that it says you take these words and you place them on your door. And what it does for us as Jews is that it's this reminder to us, is that as you enter into that household, it's not just any household. It is a sacred place. And what you do inside those walls and what you create is sacred. The rabbis said that when the temple was destroyed in the year 70, our main temple, the place that we did our sacrifices, our Holy of Holies, they said that at that point we moved what was our core sacredness and we spread it out. That every single Jewish home became like the temple. If we think on Shabbat evening, when you sit at the table and you take your challahs, you may have seen people take 2 challahs and they pour salt on the table. Well, that's because the table is thought to me like the altar. This is where we are making our offerings now. The home, the Jewish family, that world is thought to be as sacred as if you're inside the temple. That's what it means to go into the home with the mezuzah. But when we leave the home, we pass the same mezuzah. And the mezuzah is this reminder to us that as Jews, we're not told what to believe or what to think when we go in the world. What we are told is what we're supposed to do. It talks about our behaviors, that we're expected to act a certain way. That is what makes a person Jewish. And for each of us, when we look at mezuzahs, if we grew up in a Jewish home or if we didn't, it often makes us think of different things. Is that we can talk about behaviors, but it's those behaviors that we do that creates the internal experience in the world. For me, when I look at a mezuzah, I think of what that means to go from having this house and turning it into a home. When Elisa's father died a few years ago, and we finally cleaned the house up and it was ready to sell, Elisa and all of her brothers and her mother and the cousins, we all got together, and the very final thing that we did to that house is that we gathered around the front door and we pulled the mezuzah down. And we sat there with people crying and people laughing and reflecting on what happened in that home, what it was like growing up there, the incredible memories that were made, and the mensches that were brought from this family. So today I don't want us to focus just on the legalistic part of where do you put the mezuzah, how do you hang it. I want us to move beyond that. I want us to move to the question of what does it mean to you to live in a Jewish home? Number 1, what makes a house feel like a Jewish home? Number 2, what do you want the mezuzah to mean to you? And number 3, talk about other ways you choose to show your Judaism. What I would like you to do now, as you listen to all of this and you hear all of these questions, is to go around the room and to share your story.